Let's talk about what the Netflix CEO had to say at the Senate hearing. I've seen a lot of different people who are not Gunn fans celebrating the fact that, well, Superman didn't make a profit. I've been saying this and I'm going to say it again. I am waiting for the numbers. I'm not going to say it's a box office flop. I'm not going to say it didn't make money because Forbes wasn't sure when they had talked about it in the article back in October. On top of that, I just don't want to draw that conclusion. Did I like the movie? No, I thought it was mid, in my opinion. And you can have your own opinions about the movie, whatever. But what's interesting to see is how Gun fans are upset because there's people out there sharing these news and they're coping because it's like, well, the CEO of Netflix is saying that it may have underperformed. But let's get right into the article here. During a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing on Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery deal, Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos dropped a bombshell regarding Superman, the James Gunn directed reboot of DC's iconic hero. Sarandos confirms the film underperformed while addressing the industry standard 45-day theatrical release prior to hitting streaming. Now, I don't agree with that because when you read the actual quote from Sarandos, it starts out with Booker asking him, Senator Booker, I want to ask a direct question. Will this be a fully exclusive 45-day theatrical window? Fully exclusive to theaters? Yes. Now, I highly doubt that Netflix is going to honor the 45-day window when they get a hold of Warner Brothers. By the way, I think Netflix is going to buy Warner Brothers. I just think they're in a better position than Paramount. Sarandos goes on to say is the industry standard for self-enforcement. However, routinely movies that underperform, the window moves a little bit. And Superman was a little shorter window, and Sinners a little longer window, but they could still refer to it as a 45-day window. I don't think there's enough in this statement, in my personal opinion, where you could say the movie flopped. That's just my opinion. I know there's other channels out there saying, oh, ha ha ha, Superman was a bust, and we tried to tell y'all. I'm not there. I'm just not convinced. I need more than this statement because you're ducking the question, in my opinion. You're just, giving your own type of political answer just to make yourself look. And I get it. Like Netflix is trying to acquire Warner Brothers, and I think it's a foregone conclusion we're going to see it happen. I think Paramount does have a shot because Netflix has more money. Paramount, yeah, you could say, oh, they got a shot. I think it's over for them, in my opinion. But overall, when it comes to James Gunn's universe, I'm just waiting for more movies to come out. I don't care about Supergirl. It's just not for me, right? Doesn't mean his universe is a failure. I think when people say that, that's premature, in my personal opinion. I want to see what happens with Superman Man of Tomorrow. Now, I've heard about the writer decision for Batman Brave and the Bold. However, we'll see if we can get that far because James Gunn's contract, I believe, is supposed to end in the summer of 2027. And that's when Netflix will have full rights to Warner Brothers. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do if Supergirl, let's just say, doesn't perform at the box office, if Clayface underperforms. Now, I'm excited for Clayface. I really am. Because in the Batman animated series, I loved his background. I love his story. So I'm very excited for that movie. That's just what I like. But at the end of the day, if you're going to label something as a flop for Superman, I don't know. I think, in my personal opinion, there's different things going on with DC. You hear people saying, oh, the Snyderverse is coming back. And I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see how this all plays out, give you my thoughts and opinions as we hear different reports and different news. It's just fun to see the DC fandom just so divided and fighting among each other. And it's sad because in reality, we should be also talking about how they really just dropped the ball over the last, I want to say like 10 plus years. Because when Man of Steel came out, they were trying to compete with Marvel, make the Justice League movie as fast as possible. Instead of just taking their time, they had a Batman versus Superman movie, which I didn't like very much. And in my opinion, everything just went downhill very fast. I loved Aquaman. I loved Wonder Woman. That was a great movie. Surprised me. But after that, I just lost interest because of what they did with the entire universe. They didn't have a Green Lantern. They didn't have an origin for Flash. They should have just taken their time. They should have had Justice League, in my personal opinion, come out in like 2022 or 23. Like build your universe, but they rushed things. So all in all, I think DC is in a tough spot. We'll see how it all plays out. I want to hear your thoughts about the Senate hearing. Do you think Superman flopped, or do you think it didn't flop, or do you want to just wait to see the final results like I'm doing? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.